Douglas Gatto, 49 years old. January the 8th, 1976.
Rosemary Gatto, 5'11", 84. You remember that tent that we used to have that we both ended up realizing we played in as a little kid that would go on our bed?
Yeah, hide and sleep.
Right. We found out that we would actually stay in those as little kids for hours and hours and hours. Those were fun. And I got to ride my bike and play Barbies. That was what I did as a little kid.
Okay. Well, being that this is a church thing, I'll keep it clean. I used to love to play basketball as a kid. Summers in Jersey, I was usually sitting at a park somewhere waiting to get in. As you can see, I probably wasn't picked first very often. But I would sit out there for 45 minutes, sometimes an hour, just waiting to get into a game.
I think it was last summer. I was like, anyone want to send their kids outside? I'll watch them. They can come play outside. Nobody wanted to go play outside. And there's like at least 10 kids on our block now. But nobody wants to play outside anymore.
Yeah.
Driven, I think, maybe? Like, not...
That's not a Gen X. We're the slacker generation, baby.
You were not the slacker generation.
Wow.
You guys were the latchkey kids. You always had to do everything on your own.
Right. Well, that's what I was going to say, but we were still known as the slacker generation.
How so?
I think there's truth in the latchkey thing, absolutely, because that's what I was. Like, I'd come home from school, I could be, Sadie's age, and chances are nobody was going to be there. I knew the key was under the mat, and food was in the fridge. I made my own dinner, this and that, and yeah, there's truth to it, but it also made us independent and resourceful. But yeah, I went to church every Sunday with my mother. My father, no. But my mother, yeah.
Mine too. Mine were very Catholic. Very Catholic.
Yeah, I was raised Roman Catholic, yeah.
There was a different belief also that I don't know if I agree with. It was, my mom in Spanish would say, Dios te va a castigar, or like, God's going to punish you if you don't do this. And that just made you fear God and I think disassociate from God and what you like, loving God and all that stuff. It didn't do the opposite of, yes, I'm gonna do good. It would do the opposite. So I think maybe that's also a difference that we've done with our kids versus our parents.
I actually think that they were more judgmental on people based on color, race, creed, etc., social status, things like that, where I'm not that way at all. I don't care if you're a Wall Street guy that works on Wall Street or you're a ditch digger. As long as you're a genuinely good person, then you should be treated with respect. For me, it's going to be this period of my life.
So before I met Doug, being a single parent, I think was trials and tribulations. So Evelyn being special needs, my firstborn, then having Michael when he was really little, that I think tested my faith the most, of just knowing, how am I going to get through the next paycheck? How am I going to, get through the next surgery for Evelyn and whatnot? So I think that tested my faith. And I always found that I felt like God always left breadcrumbs for me. Like, if you just follow the breadcrumbs, keep following, I'll get you to the right place.
The supportive part of it, right? Everybody coming together for, a common goal, if that's what it is, or to help somebody out or something like that. When it makes it not supportive, I guess, or when it makes it not as can't think of the word I'm trying to say, but is when it's basically like, do this, or there's a level of guilt thrown on you for not doing it.
Yeah.
Even before Sadie was baptized, we went into an interview with one of the priests there, and he was just very like bossy and this, and he goes, "Whoa, how often do you go to church?" I was like, "Well, we go when we can. We have a disabled child, so it's, you know, it's not exactly easy all the time. And it was like I wasn't good enough for him. And, you know, halfway through the interview, he's like, well, God expects you to, you know, give your son. And I was like, well, you know what? I was like, then God can come down and lend a hand with his wheelchair. Or maybe you can do it. And he was like, you know, kind of taken back. And I was like, yeah, it's not that easy.
Here's my kid, can you catch? I think that helps, is just knowing that people from Victory and people from the church is like, hey, can you grab the kids for me real quick? Sure.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, actually. Same thing. It's when you're a part of this community, it's, you know, people don't think twice about helping you out for something if you need a hand with something. And we try and be the same way. So
there's a trust factor to it.
It's very supportive.
And I think everyone has a role to play. You can't be it all the time. And then especially when, like, our careers are just kind of right on the brink of, like, stressful and taking off. And so, you know, being able to do what we can when we can, and, okay, I can't do this, but I can help here. I might be late, but I can help, and I'll be there. And then, like, whenever the kids would go play with someone, it's like, oh, they're from Victory. It's like, oh, yeah, go ahead, sure.